Here's the great thing about car culture. I was just on the road that I grew up on and riding a motorcycle that belongs to my dad, doing a little video on it. And what do we see but this beautiful 1979 International Scout II. So in this video, we're going to talk to Andy, its owner, and get the rundown on everything about it. So here it is. This is the Scout II, and it is just gorgeous. And we're going to talk to its owner, Andy, here. How's it going, man?
Great. How are you doing? Nice to meet you today.
Absolutely. So we came down the road filming my dad's bike, and we saw you here shooting photos of this. What got you into Scouts?
You know, I bought my first Scout about 16 years ago. At the time, I wanted to buy a Cobra.
Okay.
And my kids were young, and I thought, you know, they can't ride around in a Cobra.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I've lived in Atlanta for 30 years, and back in the day in Buckhead, we used to ride around in the Scout. So I started looking for a Scout, and I found a good one, and I bought it, and it became the ice cream truck, going to baseball, and just having fun with it. And as things progressed, I ended up getting into more Scouts. This is the 5th Scout I've owned right now. This is a 1979. It is done as a rally. It wasn't born as a rally, and a rally is the stripe package and the wheel package. But it is pretty authentic tribute to what was done back in the day.
So is this is the type of wheel that would have come on a rally originally?
Yep, exactly. White wagon wheel is what we call it. I did the Goodyear Wrangler because that's kind of the most period correct tire I could find that kind of fit the look and everything. I tried to do this one very period correct. The other trucks I've done a Super Scout. I did another truck that was just a really cool beach cruiser rig, and my personal truck's kind of just a good cruising truck. And just tried to make one that was more authentic to what Scout was born as.
So this is clearly a restored truck. So when was it restored, and how much needed to be done on it? How much is original?
So this truck was restored from, I believe, about 2016 to 2018. When I bought it from the gentleman that had restored it. He didn't quite finish it all the way, and I kind of took it to the next level. But if anybody knows anything about Scouts, they rust. And this had, the floors were all rusted out, and the builder had cut out all the floors, cut out all the rust damage, quarter panels, everything. Every Scout rusts right here because water will drip right down in here, and all that rusts out. So we did all the rust work on it, got good paint on it, but he just kind of stopped there. He had his fun with it. I found it, and I said, you know, that's a great base to take it to the next level. And then I kind of turned it into this rally truck. A lot of the little pieces on it weren't done, like the bezels around here were not painted. They were painted, they weren't chrome. The front grille was all painted. It wasn't chromed like it should be. This is actually a 76 grill, even though it's a 79. The grill pieces and the trim pieces are impossible to get, so when you find a good one, you just kind of make it work. We redid the bumpers on it. On the inside, we did new flooring in here because it just had the painted floors. So we went ahead and put in the rubber liners. From the Scouts I've had, I always feel that having the liner in there is better because if you take the top off, you're going to get wet.
And how hard is it to remove the tops? Is that something that you can do pretty quickly?
It's not very hard. They're just big and awkward. So there's, I think there's 4 lag bolts right here, and there's 4 across the front. The top, I'm going to guess weighs, it's metal, 300-ish pounds. Okay. So, you know, 3 guys can get it off. It's a little awkward.
And then does your window slide back here as well?
These are slide windows. Nice. This was your air conditioning back then. Slide the window open.
Air conditioning?
This one does have air conditioning. The compressor works. Everything works. I haven't charged it. I don't think it's going to hold a charge. Right. But all the components, the great thing about this truck, and what I do kind of try to do on all the trucks I get, is I get everything working right. Yeah. Number one. Scouts, the gas gauges never work. Really? They just don't. Even when I think when they're new, they don't work. I try, that's the first thing I tackle when I'm looking for a Scout. I ask somebody, does gas gauge work? You can get them working, but it kind of works like this. A full tank is 3/4. Yeah. An empty tank is 1/4. Yeah. And you just don't know, so I call it the 100-mile rule. Drive it 100 miles, put gas in it. But no, this one, the blower, the heater, everything works on it. I think the air conditioner probably could work if somebody serviced it. I just didn't get to that point. We're getting ready to sell this truck, and you know, it'd be a great truck for somebody. There's just not a lot of Scouts out there that are in this kind of condition. Yeah, exactly. And again, I mean, the rust work that they did,
looking down the body, it's unbelievably straight. It looks fantastic. And then I haven't poked my head under here yet, but unsurprisingly, this all looks phenomenal too. And then walking around the back, so I really haven't gotten to interact with a lot of Scouts because, like you said, there's a lot more Broncos out there than Scouts. So how does, this is a split open?
It's a split open, so locks up top like this, and then drop the tailgate here. And like I said, awesome for tailgating. Take it to a football game.
And I love the simplicity of it. I mean, just a rubber mat, just sheet metal.
All the floors in this were really rusty. Cut out all the floors, put in new flooring. So all the right work was done on this truck. We just took it and kind of finished it. I got a little moisture coming up there from, I guess, the humidity in the air.
It's humid for sure.
Plaid interior. There's a factory plaid that's a little different than that. It's actually more white. I love that plaid because it's not going to get dirty looking over time.
Right.
That one is, you know, blue with black and a little gold in it. Just kind of fits everything right, and really, I think, have more longevity than the original plaid.
And then tell me a little bit about the powertrain. What is under the hood?
So on Scouts, you could get, on a Scout 2, you could actually get 4 motors. You could get a 4-cylinder, believe it or not, well, straight 4-cylinder. I've never owned one with a 4-cylinder. Everybody says they're just little tractor motors and they just go through everything. You also could get an inline 6, and then they made 2 V8 motors, a 304 and a 345, which a lot of people know as kind of Jeep motors, but they really were international. This one has a 345. I've had, let me see, I've had 4 345s and a 304.
Okay.
They're all good. The 345's got maybe a little more torque to it. This engine is very original. Truck shows 85,000 miles. I believe it is an 85,000 mile truck, although I don't have documents to prove it.
It's a clamshell hood.
It's clamshell, yep. The motor is not as beautifully painted as other trucks I've had or other trucks you might see, but the thing I like about this motor is I'm almost certain it's never been taken apart, and it starts up one turn. All we did, we put a new fuel pump on it and a new starter, and it'll pump right up. I'll turn it for you.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it run.
And it goes.
You know, and I actually like the fact that it's got some patina on the motor, but this beautiful paint.
Yeah.
That contrast looks really good.
Exactly.
And then I'm sure with the hood closed, it's probably, I mean, dead quiet, right?
Oh yeah, it's a very quiet truck. So Scout motors, you might be able to hear it a little bit on there. Scout motors are known to have a little ticking noise.
Right.
And I've had Scouts before, or I've sold Scouts, or I've bought Scouts, and people ask questions about, well, is the lifters going bad or something going on with the rocker arms? I'm like, they all kind of tick until they get a little warmed up. It's like old 911s kind of have that ticky tick noise. So that's you know, just how they are. And this one is, I kind of get them and drive them. I've probably driven this truck 600 or 700 miles this summer.
Nice.
And I had another one that I drove almost 1,000 miles this summer. I basically just drive them and kind of vet them out because I want the next person to have a really good quality truck, something they can rely on.
Well, and this is an absolutely beautiful truck. So do you know around about when and where you're going to sell it?
So this is going to go on Bring a Trailer, and I'm going to guess it's probably going to show up there in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Nice. Well, yeah, somebody is going to get an absolutely beautiful Scout. So I appreciate you taking the time to show it to us, Andy. And is there anything else that we missed on it, or did we cover?
I think you got it mostly covered. It's great running into you and your dad today. That was just kind of worked out perfect.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for showing it to us, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Sure enough.